If you want to get in contact with me, the best way to do it is on Instagram. If you just want to say what up, if you want to tell me you love my videos, you can tell me that you hate my videos, but the best way to do that is on Instagram. Peace, y'all. Jonny Fastlane here. So, Lil Uzi Vert drops another album for the second week in a row, and Blueface says that 6ix9ine messed up the internet. Plus, Jay-Z finally addresses backlash for working with the NFL. Let's talk hip-hop. So Lil Uzi Vert goes on Twitter and he's like, I put 2 albums in one. The second half of Eternal Take is Love, Lil Uzi Vert versus the World Part 2, right? And that's crazy because I kind of suspected that he was gonna do this, right? So y'all know the whole situation is everybody's been waiting for Eternal Take for like 2 years now, right? And it kept being pushed back, and Jay-Z, Lil Uzi Vert was having issues with the record label, with Generation Now. He ended up signing with Rock Nation and Jay-Z. They bought him out his contract and everything was crazy, right? But during that time, I guess he was working on mad music, right? Because first of all, Eternal Take is a dope ass album, and it's the album that Lil Uzi Vert's core fans have been waiting to hear, right? So, you know, Lil Uzi Vert's core fans are not just, you know, people from the hood, right? So, you know, there's kids from the suburbs that like Lil Uzi Vert's, parents, grandmas, everybody likes Lil Uzi Vert, right? So he really spoke to his core with Eternal Take. It was a long album, 20-something songs, and he gave his fans exactly what they needed, right? Plus, I think he sold like 275 copies in the first week or something insane, right? So anyway, so then he was teasing the deluxe version of Eternal Take, and he started like going on Twitter and like adding 21 Savage and adding you know, Young Thug and Young Nudie and everybody talking about y'all ready, y'all ready, y'all ready, y'all ready, adding Future, y'all ready, y'all ready. And it was crazy because it's like, are they gonna be like on remixes of some of the songs that are on Eternal Take or whatever the case may be? But no. So then that tweet he announced yesterday that he is having a whole new album come out. So the first album really geared towards his fans. Everything was cool, people loved it, and you know, Lil Uzi Vert might have had like one feature on that first album, even though there was 20-something songs, right? This album though was like 14 songs, and it's a whole lot more features, about 5 or 6 features, and it really sounds like it's Atlanta influenced, right? The production is completely different. There's a lot more 808s, and Lil Uzi Vert has Young Nudie on there who's from Atlanta, 21 Savage on there who's from Atlanta, Future on there who's from Atlanta, so you get the point, right? Young Thug who's on there from Atlanta as well. So you get the point. It seems like Lil Uzi Vert, like the first one was for his core fans, and the second album, Lil Uzi Vert versus the World Part 2, is like for the hood, right? And both albums are fire. And for me, I would have to say I like the second one better, but the first one was dope too, man. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments.
How does 6ix9ine fuck up the internet?
Alright, so that was a clip from an interview that Blueface did with Big Boy, right? And you know, Big Boy kind of asked him about 6ix9ine, or really didn't ask him about 6ix9ine, but asked him about like the internet and about, you know, trolling, and you know, what do you think about today's, I guess, social media climate, right? So Blueface kind of said, you know what, somebody messed up the internet, right? So Big Boy's like, well, who messed up the internet, right? And then, you know, Blueface goes on to explain that 6ix9ine messed up the internet, right? So of course Big Boy's like, well, explain that, you know, build on that, what do you mean, right? So, and you know, Blueface, you know, says a lot of dumb shit a lot of times, but here in this clip, he seemed like he was just super like regular. He was talking all straight facts, and he was like really sounded like he had a level head on his shoulder. So basically what he said was that 6ix9ine came through, and he was just clout chasing so hard that he pretty much said whatever he wanted to on the internet, whether he was telling somebody suck my dick, fuck you, whatever, you know, he's just doing shit for attention, right? And he said because of that, now a lot of other rappers kind of do the same thing, and that's how 6ix9ine messed up the internet, right? And then he says, look, if you really mean it, then that's fine, then that's cool, but the horrible thing is, and the worst thing is, that when you don't even mean it, for you to just be saying whatever just so you could get clicks or views or listens or streams or people to, you know, go on your Instagram or followers or clout, you know, then you are wildin', right? And so Blueface basically was like, yo, the internet's messed up because a lot of these rappers today, not, you know, just general people, but rappers today are following that same kind of, you know, blueprint that 6ix9ine laid out for them, and they're getting themselves in trouble, you know, which makes a whole lot of sense, right? He also went on to talk about checking in and how he didn't really mean that Pop Smoke had to check in, but, you know, he should get legal, you know, I guess security so that he's good when he goes out of town and blah, 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 right? But anyway, watch the interview and let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. So, Jay Electronica drops a written testimony today, right? And, you know, technically it's his first album, even though he came out with like a mixtape or kind of like an album. It did have original music on it and original beats, but that was like 10 years ago, right? Ever since then, Jay Electronica has been teasing and he's gonna drop an album and he hasn't come out with it, right? To the point where it's almost like hip-hop doesn't really care anymore whether or not he drops an album or not, right? But it seems like a lot of people, especially like, you know, the purists or like the hippity hoppity people, were looking forward to a Jay Electronica album to drop today, which it actually did, right? The name of the album is called A Written Testimony. It only has 10 songs on it, but here's the thing, right? You look at the track list, it's like, okay, cool. Number 3, Travis Scott is featured on there. You go a little bit further down, maybe number 7 has a feature on there, whatever, right? But here's the thing. They're not telling us about the features that are really on the album, and I think that's because Jay Electronica may be a little bit insecure in his hip-hop or in his music or whatever the case may be. He doesn't want people to prejudge it, right? So this album, A Written Testimony, with 10 songs on it, 8 of the songs have Jay-Z on it, right? So it's sort of like a compilation album with Jay-Z and Jay Electronica. So for you to not come out with an album for 10 years and for people to be like, yo, Jay Electronica is one of the dopest producers, writers, and MCs in hip-hop, period, but he doesn't even have one single body of work to show for it. And then when you finally come out with a body of work, it's you and Jay-Z as a compilation album, then how dope is this artist, Jay Electronica, really, right? But I will say that listening to the album, it was pretty good, right? So in the beginning, you know, in the intro, you know, Louis Farrakhan is talking and he says in no uncertain terms that the black man is the original Hebrew Israelite, right? And so that kind of sets the tone for the entire album. And he has Jay-Z on there rapping, you know, talking about Allah and everything like that, even though it's weird because Jay-Z practices Ifa, which is a, you know, a African-based religion that has nothing to do with Allah necessarily, but whatever, right? The whole situation is, yes, the album is good. Yes, the music is good. Yes, the message is good. Yes, Jay-Z spit fire. Yes, Jay Electronica spit fire. It should have been longer. And to be honest with you, I think that Jay Electronica used the cheat code by having Jay-Z on 8 out of the 10 songs and also being so scared that you're not dropping anything for 10 years, right? But in a couple of songs, he did say, you know, he talked to Puffy and Puff asked him, oh, are you scared to come out? Why don't you drop, right? He also said in a lyric that, you know, Jay-Z told him, are you scared of heights? Why you don't want to drop an album, right? So it seems like his own fear of being judged by the general public is what stopped him from coming out with an album, and his sensitivity as an artist around that, and you know, the fact that he has Jay-Z on the whole damn album shows that he's not confident in the fact that he could, I don't know, maybe sell albums or come out with good music alone because he has waited so long to drop. You know what I mean? But, you know, let me know what y'all think about the album and everything else in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Oh yeah. And on one of the songs, Jay-Z basically says something about why would he sell out to Roger Goodell, because he makes more money than Roger Goodell, and that he was really trying to, you know, work with the NFL so that he could help us or help black people out in general, you know, get better representation in the NFL, right? But my whole thing is that nobody asked Jay-Z to do it, and yeah, you're helping out black people, but you're really helping out, you know, specific black people. You might be helping out like Meek Mill, who's, you know, a black person, and you helping him get more money. You know, Beyonce and Blue Ivy and Jay-Z's, you know, 2 other kids are black people, so yeah, he is helping helping out black people. But for Jay-Z to stand on a pedestal and say, us as a race of black people, let's not deal with the NFL because they don't care about our culture, and then for you to turn around and just deal with the NFL because they're giving you money, and then you're like, no, you know what, the NFL's good now, we're past the kneeling, it's kind of hypocritical, right? So no matter what cool kind of slick verses or lines that you say in a new album with Jay Electronica, is not going to really save face with the people who have a brain. You feel me? But anyway, let me know what y'all think about this and everything else in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Follow me at Jonny Fastlane on Instagram, and y'all already know what to do. Peace.